Welcome to this maths memory video, and this is week 2 here on your foundation or your higher level revision planner. So let's tick this off. It's a grade 4/5 topic called advanced angles, to do with angles, parallel lines and things like that. So let's get your maths memory card over here and let's try the following templates on this. This is a bronze tier topic. So the first thing we're going to show you in this video is basic principles, which includes things like straight lines, triangles and things like that, circles, things you've picked up before from your knowledge of angles. Secondly, parallel lines. This is a new thing. There are 4 types of parallel angles, should we say, within parallel lines. You're learning them over here. And let's say the most advanced idea behind this is supplementary quadrilaterals, where you have 2 angles adding up to 180 within quadrilaterals, such as trapeziums, parallelograms, rhombuses, and like that. Here's a space for your best examples during this maths memory video, and hopefully by the end of this we'll give you 3 clear, concise steps so you can use this towards your Let's Do It questions with your card by yourself at the end of this video. Let's turn over to our toolkit. So this is your toolkit revision card. Let's create 3 clear sections on this, A, B and C, and we're going to show you the best methodologies during this video of what your tips and tricks are so you get the best possible grade in your exams. Press pause to make sure you have this before we start our back to basic questions. So before we start this video, let's make sure we understand these basic principles. Let's get a card out and let's write this down. So we assume you know a straight line adds up to 180. We assume you know a circle adds up to 360. Also, we assume you know a triangle adds up to 180. And you know the basic features of both an equilateral and an isosceles triangle. And also a quadrilateral, that all quadrilaterals and the angles add up to 360 degrees within that. So press pause, make sure you have these key features down or these basic principles so we can get on with the rest of this video. Question 1, back to basics, advanced angles. So let's get you through this introductory question so far to set you up for your core questions. So press pause, make sure you've got this down, and press play when you have got this. So part A, find angle X. So first of all, let's look at this triangle. How do you identify this? Well, these 2 lines mean equal lengths, which can only mean one thing. It's an isosceles triangle. So isosceles triangle have the same base angles, X and this X as well. Okay, and obviously the same lengths. So therefore, what assumption could we make? Well, let's put out the top angle first. So this angle must be 360 take away 310 because a circle adds up to 360. Therefore, it's 50. If the top bit's 50, let's do 180 take away 50, and we'll get 130. And 130 divided by 2, this will give us our respective angles X over here, which is 65 degrees. The reason why, I mean, you can write whatever we wrote over here if you want to for a reason, but basically it comes down from us being an isosceles triangle. Okay, part B, Y. So Y is over here. So Y is basically, if you look at this, this is going to be X as well, 65. We just have calculated that, and this one. So Y and X lie on a straight line. Straight lines add up to 180, so it's all about identifying these features. And this green line over here, it's a straight line. So it's 180 take away 65, and the answer is 125. So 125, and you could give a reason to a straight line. That's fair enough. Question 2, back to basics, advanced angles. So let's get down to these parallel lines now. And parallel lines are pretty much self-evident. They're all throughout this topic. And you know why they're parallel lines? Because they have these little arrows on each of these lines over here. Okay, these straight lines, should we say. And there are 4 types of parallel lines we need to master. We'll go through each one in turn of maths memory. So the first one is this. Now, this is our base. Let's call this a different color. Let's call this maybe green over here. Okay, so this is our base 60. And this angle over here will be your alternate angle. Okay, it's alternate, it's called Z sometimes, but if you look at this as the bottom right, this is the top left. Okay, so angle X is 60, and reason why, alternate, it's always the same as before, alternate. Question 3, back to basics, advanced angles. Let's press pause, let's draw this set of parallel lines down, press play when you have done this. So again, we're seeing a set of parallel lines over here with the arrows. Very important you identify that, and we have our base as 55 over here. So this looks a bit different because this angle here, X, is above this 55, okay, and it's an F shape, okay, inverted F actually in this case, and this will lead to one thing only. It's called corresponding angles. Okay, so when they are on top of each other, another word is on top, corresponding angle is 55. It'll always be the same as well. So let's write corresponding. Okay, and there we go. Question 4, back to basics. Press pause, please, and let's write this question down. And let's try to find x. So again, we have a set of parallel lines over here, and we have our base x, or base is 62. Let's say the base is over here. How do we find x? Well, this looks like a bow tie. Okay, they're both opposite each other, diagonal, and that helps us with what this is called. They're both the same angles, and they're called vertically opposite. So VO, or vertically opposite. Question 5, back to basics. Press pause, let's write this set of parallel lines down. Press play when you have finished. So parallel lines, our base is this time 70, bottom left, and what is this angle over here? Now this is the only, let's say, type that is different. So these two add up to 180, okay? 70 plus x add up to 180. They're called supplementary angles or co-interior, depending on what your teacher calls it. We'll call it supplementary here on maths memory, and 180 degrees. Take away 70 will simply give you 110. A way to think about these are both inside or within these parallel lines, okay? So it kind of like looks like goggles in a way, okay? Inside this. Reason why, we'll call it supplementary over here. So we have finished all 4 of these angles so far, or types of parallel angles. We're going to show you a toolkit in a second based on this. So let's get revision card B down, and this is parallel lines on our subheading topic, a summary box of all the different 4 types of, let's say, angles that could be involved with parallel lines. So we've shown you X, the base, and all these 4 colors. 4 types of angles are all linked or related to the base, which is X. So make sure you have this down, vertically opposite, alternate angles, corresponding, and supplementary. Press pause to make sure you have this, because you just learned this just now on the back to basic questions. Question 6, back to basics. Press pause. Let's try this question a bit more integrated this time, or what we've just learned. Press play when you are ready. So here we have a set of parallel lines once again. Let's look at this. So we have a triangle within this set of parallel lines, and let's think what we've just learned so far, the last few questions of back to basics. So our base is 73. This is bottom left. If you look at this line over here, this triangle, it looks like this line over here, it looks like a line like this. Similarly, this line over here looks the same like that, if it helps you, okay? So going back to this, if this is 73, bottom left, this has to be 73 as well. They're both called alternate angles. So 73 and alternate. That's good enough for that. Angle Y. So if Y is over here, well, 124. If this is 124 over here, again, we could say that this angle here, they're both supplementary. They both add up to 180. So 124, or 180 take away 124 rather, this will give us 56. That is your answer, 56. And the reason why, simply state what it is. Supplementary. Question 7, back to basics. Press pause. Let's draw this trapezium. Press play when you have got the answer for X. So this is quite a simple question once you understand it. So here we're dealing with a trapezium, and we're dealing with a special angle within this. Now, this is your base 43. And if you look at this, you could make it look like this line over here. You could extend it like this, as such. Okay, and obviously these 2 lines you could extend as well to make it look like a set of parallel lines. This will always work for a trapezium, by the way. So there, you've guessed it, these 2 will add up to 180. It's simply going to be supplementary angles. So 180 take away 48. If you do a bit of mental math on that, 132 is the answer. Angle X is 132. And again, supplementary is how we do this. It'll always work for any kind of trapezium, as we said. Even if you have these angles over here, these add up to 180 as well. Question 8, back to basics. Just press pause, try parts A and B please, and press play when you have done this. So in this case we have again a set of parallel lines in the context of a parallelogram. Okay, because parallelogram is like a slanted rectangle. So it's very similar to the question before. Again, you've guessed it. You can make these lines longer if you want to, but I think you can see this. This angle X plus 72, these are supplementary. They both add up to 180 degrees. So 180 take away 72. If you do this, 108, 108, and again supplementary angles. Now something more special with this shape of a parallelogram. If you were to rotate this 90 degrees, either way, you could say this as well. Let's say if I said to you this is 72 degrees, this browny orangey one over here, this one as well would be again supplementary. Y and 72 would be supplementary. They both add up to 180 degrees. If you were to look at extend this line, perhaps if I show you over here, extend that and this, you can see that quite clearly, and obviously tilt your head a bit. That would be the same thing as well. So this one over here would be 180 take away 72, and again that will give you 108. So angle Y is 108 again, and the same reason why supplementary would give you the mark for that. So this is supplementary angles in quadrilaterals, part C on your toolkit. Let's summarize this down. So we've seen a parallelogram and a trapezium, and we've seen how the supplementary angles, or co-interior, you may call it that in your school, how they add up to 180. So make sure you're familiar with these different type of angles, and make sure you've got this down for our Let's Do It questions to come. Question 1, core 1, advanced angles. Let's press pause. Let's write this question down. Let's try to answer parts A, B, and C. And when you've got these answers, press play, and you're done. So what do we recognize from this question? Well, we have a set of parallel lines over here. You've got it. That's exactly what we want to figure out. So we also have a triangle, and more specifically an isosceles triangle. The trick with this is to turn your head around and rotate this. So your base is over here. Make sure you understand this, okay? This is your base, this green line, okay? It's not the bottom bit as many students think. Now, once you have this perspective, we can do quite a lot of things with this. So let's try to figure out this angle over here first. If this is the base, this must be 56 degrees, because obviously we have a triangle that really looks like this. This is really approximate. This would be 56 degrees. Bottom right, what we've given. This is 56. So therefore this must be 180 take away 56 and 56. So 180 take away 112. We got 112 by doubling 56. 0 take away 2. We can't do. Take comes to 7. 10 take away 2 is 8. 7 take away 1 is 6. 68 degrees. This must be 68 degrees, this angle over here. Does it help you with finding out Y and Z now? So Y would now is going to be a straight line. So if we have a straight line, let's create a straight line over here, and 56 plus something is going to give us 180 degrees. This is pretty simple, in fact. No maths already involved with this. So 180 take away 56 degrees. If we do that quickly, again 0 take away 6 we can't do. Becomes a 7, 4, 2. This is going to be whoops, sorry, this is 1, isn't it? 124. So 124 is the value of Y over here. Let's make that a bit more clearer, in fact. We're rushing a bit too much. All right, so that's going to be 1. Now, Z. Now, there's another way of finding, well, there are two ways of finding Z we've just seen. You could do supplementary angles with what we've just found out, 124 plus something gives you 180. Or, very simple, if this is 56, the bottom right, this must be 56 as well. They're both alternate angles. All right, if you can just see that over here, much more simpler to understand. This angle and this angle are both 56 degrees because they are alternate. Okay, so no reasons to be given over here, but just if you understand how to do this, that will really help you with the rest of the questions to come. Question 2, core 2, advanced angles. Let's press pause, write this question down, and press play when you have finished this. So this question is integrating many of the principles we have learned before. Let's delve into this straight away. So AC, BD, and EF are parallel lines. We see AC, BD, and EF all with arrows on them, and we could say that ABCD is a parallelogram. So this green one over here as well, the top one, is a parallelogram. Well, we also see a trapezium at the bottom and an isosceles triangle as well, with these two things on this far right one. Look at the angle X. So X is this orangey one over here. Let's look at angle X. What do we know so far? Let's try to look at this in the big picture and work out any angles we should know. Now, this trapezium over here, this straight away tells us these two add up to 180, okay? So this has to be 180 take away 119. So if we do that, a bit of mental maths over here. 10 take away 9 is 1. 7 take away 1 is 6. So it's 61. This is 61 degrees. Okay, angle BDF. What else do we know from here? Well, this parallelogram, we could say as well, these two, 128 plus something, will give us 180 as well. They're both supplementary. So 180 take away 128. This will give us 52 degrees in the same way we did before. I didn't do the working out though. Now, how do we find out this? Now, this is an isosceles triangle because we have two lines over here. So the question is, how do we find out this angle over here? We want to find out this. If we know this one, we know that this one is the same as well. So how do we do that? So the question is, let's try to figure this out. Now, this is a straight line, okay? We want to find this yellow one over here. A straight line we have. That should be quite apparent because we have FDG being a straight line. So therefore, we can say 61 plus 52 is going to be 113, and 180 take away 113. This will give us the answer for this. So the same way we did before, 10 take away 3, 7, 7 take away 1, 6, 67. This is 67 degrees, angle CDG. Isosceles triangle, so that's 67 as well, the two base angles, these two yellow ones over here, and therefore this top triangle must be 180 take away double this. So 180 take away 134. We got 134 by obviously doubling 67. So this will be 7 over here, a 1, 6, and this would be 6 as well. Sorry, this would be actually 4. 7 take away 3 is 4. 46. So this is going to be 46 degrees, and that's your final answer. So show the working out, 46 degrees. You can't really go wrong with going step by step of what you know from the question. It's very much called chunking, as we do in maths memory. Chunk up the question, look at what you know, and work backwards to get that value of x. Question 3, challenge advanced angles. Press pause. Let's write this question down. Let's answer parts A, B, and C. Press play when you think you have done this. So this is a bit more challenging. Grade 5 question 3 marker. So A, B, C, D is a parallelogram. We can see that over here. This is your parallelogram. Should be used to that by now. And we have a couple of angles as well shown. Now the question is saying this, find angle X. So X is over here. Let's color this in this color. Now this obviously is a parallelogram. Therefore, this angle 71 plus X have to equal 180 degrees. They're both supplementary. So 180 take away 71. Let's do this over here. And we're going to get 10 take away 1, which is 9. 7 take away 7, which is 0 and 1. 109. So this angle, let's say ADC is 109. Reason, we can say supplementary. Okay, with this angle obviously BCD. Now if we know angle, well, let's call it angle D here to make it short. We can find angle E over here. And how do we do this? Or angle Y, we're going to basically say that these two are corresponding. So this will be 109, and the reason why it's corresponding with X, okay, or angle D over here. So that's very simple. Now Z is right over here. How do we go about this? There are different ways of doing it. So whichever way you choose is the best for you, you please go ahead and do it. So this F is, or GFE, let's say, is 108. This angle here, this is the way we would do it in maths memory, would be, these two are supplementary, okay? It'd be 180 take away 108, which would be 72 degrees. If that's 72, these two are vertically opposite, okay? So this has to be 72 as well, this angle. Let's try to find out this angle over here, all three angles in this triangle. So this triangle must be supplementary with this angle, CDA. If this angle here we said was 109, this must be 71, okay? Because they're both supplementary. If you tilt your head, it's 90 degrees. So 71 plus 72, that's going to give us 143. This take away 143 will give us an answer of 37. So Z is 37. The reason why, well, we want to go through the detail, but you can go through the detail and write it over here of various supplementary angles. We'll put a tick, but basically it comes down to all three angles add up to 180 in this little triangle. And how you do it is up to you at 37, but this is, we show you the best way we think is the best for you to understand this in the simplest way. So we have finished this video now on advanced angles. Let's see how much you have picked up so far. So Have you learned the basic principles? Do you know things of straight lines, circles, triangles, how to identify these things? These basic principles are throughout this whole topic, and they always are the foundation towards this. If you think you understand this, give yourself a tick over here. Have you learned the 4 types of parallel lines as well? Have you learned mnemonic VAX? So V for vertically opposite, A for alternate, C for corresponding, S for supplementary. If you've learned them, and you more importantly know how to identify them and calculate them within the structure, you do a tick over there. Supplementary quadrilaterals. Have you learned to identify supplementary angles within quadrilaterals, trapeziums, parallelograms? We did something on this topic here. Give yourself a tick. What are your best examples? You should have your best examples or what you've picked up with the most value over here. And again, these 3 steps we haven't really made clear because it's quite a varied topic, but the key ingredients you need to take back with these really are, I would say, the parallel lines and how to identify this within your mnemonic VAX, VACS, vertically opposite, alternate, corresponding, and supplementary. That's the main pinnacle of this topic. Let's get these key principles down at the end of this topic on advanced angles. So this is your revision card part A. You should have all of this jotted down before we attempt the Let's Do It questions. There are quite a lot of different concepts over here. So make sure you've got these down, and we'll get over to parts B and C in a second. So these are parts B and C. Make sure you have these jotted down on your revision card. Once again, we're going to apply these principles to your Let's Do It questions. So press pause and make sure you understand these 2 parts over here. So let's begin our Let's Do It questions now on advanced angles. Let's use the knowledge you have through your revision cards, the ones you created yourself, to do these questions. So press pause, make sure you've got parts A, B and C down, and press play for the answer. Question 2, let's do it. Advanced angles. Press pause. Let's write this question down. Answer parts A and B. Press play when you have finished. Here we are at the end of this topic on advanced angles. How well do you understand this? How well have you understood your toolkits of these mnemonics, of understanding parallel lines, your 4 types of parallel lines, vertically opposite, alternate, corresponding, and supplementary? And how well have you understood as well quadrilaterals and that they add up to 360 degrees? How to identify them and how to incorporate them into a question. If you haven't understood this and you've done well in your Let's Do It questions, give yourself a good mark out of 10 on your revision planner right now.